Soul State, what are the best Black Friday deals?
Okay, we'll go over the best deals on the best plugins organized by category. FYI, nobody has paid me to say anything in this video, but I do receive a small commission on some of the links, so if you want to support the channel, do me a favor and use the links below. Thank you in advance, I really appreciate it. Let's start off with plugins that I think are underpriced. The Soundtoys bundles. The Complete Collection and the Effect Rack are both a great value. They sound good quickly, they're easy to use, and they're just fun. If you want to save $100, get the Effect Rack. If you want all the plugins, including individual VSTs, the Effect Rack, Little Plate, and Little Ultra Boy, then get the full bundle. Here's a quick demo. Arturia V Collection. Okay, yeah, it's a bit expensive, but if you love that analog synth sound, you're basically getting a room full of synths for $300. It comes with 32 instruments, so about $10 a synth, and has 14,000 presets. Loop Cloud. Loop Cloud is offering 2 months of samples for $2 plus Sublab for free, which is usually $40. So if you want some samples and a synth for $2, try it out. EQ. Two good options. Pro 3 is just easy to use. It has lots of helpful features, such as dynamic EQ to control annoying resonances, a linear phase mode for mastering, a frequency overlay where you can see clashing notes, and you can even sidechain certain EQ bands if you want. Now it is pretty expensive for an EQ, so if you're on a budget and you want a dynamic EQ, I would recommend M Auto Dynamic EQ. It's not quite as pretty as Pro Q3, but it sounds really good. And both Pro Q3 and the Meld EQ have an EQ match feature, so you can clone the EQ curve of a track that you like. Okay, Scalar. If you don't know music theory and you want better chords, Scalar is a great place to start. It has a bunch of chord progressions that you can trigger with your computer keyboard. You can sort by genre, you can sort by artist, and the boss move here is to route Scalar into other VSTs. Just copy the routing settings here. So before. And if you're feeling spendy this year, Ableton Push is also really cool. It's got a keyboard based on music theory, which is a really similar concept to Scalar. Synths. The key question is, do you like digital synths or do you like analog emulations? If you like analog stuff, any Juno clone is a great place to start. It's good for basses and chords. The Model 84 is probably my top pick. If you want to save a little bit of money, Tal Juno clone, also really good. And of course, if you like analog synths, the V Collection's great. If you like digital synths, there's a few cool ones. Vital's great if you just want a free synth that's very visual and easy to understand. And Serum, if you like third-party presets, I think there's more available for Serum than any other synth. And, cool bonus, Plugin Boutique is currently offering a free synth with any purchase. This one. Fun plugins. Plugins that add flavor quickly. Effect Rack is great. I love that you can save your own presets, drag plugins in and out, and the global dry wet knob is super helpful for dialing in the perfect effect sound. Similar to that is RC20. It's a multi-effects plugin. It's got a global dry wet knob, which is super helpful. Flux mode, which is like a slow LFO to add movement. And the key point, it sounds good quickly. Rift Filter Light. This is also fun for adding movement to anything. It has a bunch of different filter types. It's got a morph knob like Serum, and I just find it's more instantly gratifying than Ableton's auto filter. Vocal magic. By that I mean making your vocals brighter without harshness. There's 3 good plugins here, and they're all based on the Dolby Type A trick, which is kind of like compressing, de-essing, and boosting the sound all at the same time. If you want a free one, get Slate Fresh Air. If you want the one Disclosure uses, get Dopamine. If you want multiband control, get Type A.
Get the bag, get the cash, get the bag, get the cash, get the bag, get the cash, get the bag, get the cash.
Here's a more normal example.
I love you, baby. I love you, baby.
Vocal tuning. These are some plugins that are very hard to live without. There's 3 good options. Antares Autotune and Isotope Nectar are both the best for real-time correction with almost no effort, like if you're working with a vocalist live. And Melodyne is best for precise control, but isn't real-time. If you have to pick one, I'd pick Melodyne because it gives you so much control. For example, shifting notes towards the pitch center, and you can also easily repitch any sound.
I know you don't love me like I know you don't love me like.
And they're also doing discounts on all upgrades. Sidechain, I love Sidechain. For simple Sidechain, you can use your DAW's compressor, no problem. For multi-band Sidechain, try Shaperbox if you're on a budget, Volume Shaper, and Pro MB also works. The decision is really, do you want a multi-band compressor, or do you want extra sound shaping tools that are included in the Shaperbox bundle? In this example, the bass lows are sidechained and the bass highs are dry. Together. The one thing I like about the new Shaperbox update is this show external sidechain feature, so you can see the input of your kick really clearly. Now what if your vocals and your synths are fighting? Is there a way to use sidechain to fix that? For that, you can use Track Spacer to have the vocals duck the synths a little bit. Soothe also works for this if you already have it, but it's pretty heavy on the CPU, whereas Track Spacer is a bit lighter. Quick question, how can I improve these videos? Do you want more or less talking about each plugin, and do you want more or less audio examples? Comment below so we can make these videos better. Thank you. Saturation and distortion. Decapitator is great if you want to quickly add character. And if you are looking at Decapitator, it's worth looking at the effect rack because it includes Decapitator and comes with a bunch of other plugins. Saturn is my favorite for multi-band distortion. For example, if you just want to apply tape saturation to your highs. And if you want to get fancy, Ozone Exciter lets you do mid-side distortion. Mastering EQ. Pro Q3 and the Melda Dynamic EQ are the best place to start. They're both super flexible, they sound good, and they're really easy to use. But there's a few more that you might want to know about. Pensado EQ. So Dave Pensado selected his favorite frequency bands from a bunch of different EQs and then combined them into this one EQ. So you're basically paying for Dave's ear.
Hit down, 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 hit down.
SSL Violet EQ. This is a very natural sounding EQ. It's great if you want to just add a little bit of flavor to your highs or your lows. Ozone's EQ. What I like to do is hit Master Assistant, let it process, and then see if I like Ozone's dynamic EQ suggestions. Oftentimes it helps me find resonances that I miss. Limiters. There are a few limiters I recommend you check out based on your budget and your needs. TDR Limiter 6GE, best for a budget. Elevate, best for mids, transients, and control. Ozone, best for value and Master Assistant. FabFilter Pro L, best for those long subnotes. And DMG Limitless, best if you want your kick to stand out. With the exception of TDR Limiter 6GE, unless you're pushing them super hard, like I'm about to show you, they all sound really similar. Vocal pitching. These tools are so helpful when it comes to shaping a vocal. The key thing is they all have independent control over the pitch and the formant, so you can control those separately. I think there's 3 good ones. They all have some differences. Waves Vocal Bender, this one has 0 latency, but it loses some detail, as you'll see in a sec. Little Ultra Boy, I think this one sounds the cleanest, but it has a lot of latency, 51 milliseconds on my system. So if you like playing stuff in live, another tool might be better for you.
I just can't get enough.
I just can't get enough of your love. I just can't get enough of your love. I just can't get enough of your love.
Manipulator, this one is also 0 latency and will give you the widest variety of sounds.
I just can't get enough. I just can't get enough of your love. I just can't get enough of your love. I just can't get enough of your love.
Let's talk about a few plugins that do things that other plugins don't. If you want to break any creative habit, try this plugin. You basically plant seeds and then you can manipulate the genes. And if you're a Flume fan, it sounds a lot like Flume. Soothe. It's kind of like an automatic dynamic EQ. It just helps get rid of those annoying resonances. At the end of the day, you can do all this yourself, but this just saves you time. Have you ever been working on a beat and you want a kick drum that sounds really similar, but you don't want to spend an hour digging through samples? Well, XO is a cool way to solve that problem because it sorts samples by similarity. If you want to change your kick, you just do this. Sounds good. So if you like making drum grooves, give this one a try. And don't forget to drag in your favorite samples here. Remember, plugins don't write hits, they just enhance good ideas. If you want to support the channel, make sure to use the links in the description, it really helps. And if you have any plugin questions, let me know in the comments, I'll try to answer as much as I can.